finals as well. Matilda was one of it here. Well, Lolita is great. If you think about basing off Blacklist composition, SPS was something that was kind of a surprising factor for us in today's games. And maybe, just maybe, we are going to be seeing that later on. But for now, let's see. PBN Strike as well as EVO Esports. PBN Strike first picking here, ban coming in. It is going to be the Fanny most likely. But at the same time, they could let it slide because of the fact that EVO Esports, they're not really afraid of it, right? Zanri plays a pretty strong Kufra.
Yeah, and I think one of the top bans for this matchup will be definitely Fedrin. That's definitely one. It's really, really popular with EVO Esports. I wouldn't say that Valentina will be a ban. Every round it's been let go, and despite it being some popular picks around, but I think there's a lot of ways to counter the Valentina, and sometimes it depends on what your opponent picks as well, what kind of spells that the Valentina can steal away. So I think that it will be given out. But if there was a surprise ban, I would say maybe a Glue. It has been picked up a lot, and the win rate's not bad.
I think Glue is still one of the strongest XP laners out there, alongside with Lapu. Edith is pretty decent as well. I think recently Theresa is also a pretty decent hero to go with. But PBN Strike, they've done their homework. They're banning off the Fredrin. Fanny still in the pool as well. EVO Esports just don't really care about the Fanny here. Zanri plays a pretty strong Kufra. They're banning it, they're respecting it. And most of the time, the teams now has slowly adapt to the timings of the purple buff, which we can see as well. Just now, Ling coming from See You Soon didn't exactly work out because of how they actually shut down. And in this case, same can be said for the Ling, Fanny itself. So EVO Esports, they're not too worried about the Fanny. They can let it off true, but they have to be worried about the Glue. That's for sure.
Yep, the Glue is definitely one of it. Maybe even the Lolita as well. But those kind of bans, okay, Glue maybe will be an early ban, but Lolita, depending on situation, it could be a second phase ban. But for the first phase, well, I just want to say that Alot will be banned, but yeah, kind of expected. So far, most of these bans that we see are quite common bans today. But there's one that's still available. Fanny has yet to be banned.
Fanny completely ignored here. But because EVO Esports is on second pick, so even if they go for the first pick, Fanny is not going to look good for them.
Okay.
But they're not taking the risk. They ban off the Fanny. That means there is going to be the Glue up for grabs. Also, can be said for Yves as well as Valentina. 3 S tier picks from the side of PBN Strike.
Yeah, I would expect that if Valentina were to be picked, it would be picked at the second phase pick rather than first phase. You might want to prioritize the Glue because of how versatile it is, but PBN Strike!
Okay.
Again?
Okay, seems like they are going to draft the Kaja and towards the first pick from the side of PBN Strike. EVO Esports immediately going for the Valentina, 22% win rate, along with the Archive for a jungle. 3 times pick so far. And this is going to be interesting. PBN Strike, pretty sure going to go for the Farsa. I know. You're bored of the hero already.
Yeah.
I get it. You know, I understand.
I'm done with Farsa, Kaja.
You know, I would like Kadita or Lilia to a certain degree, but they prioritize the carry for now.
Okay.
I don't think it's a Farsa. There is still Glue in the Pable, and I feel like the Glue is so much more important. There are just so many other mages in the pool to be drafting here from PBN Strike. But the Glue is one of a kind.
Yeah, I do agree that
like
definitely
going, pretty sure as well. PBN Strike, they have to go for the Glue. Double pickoffs here. We have got Kaja, we've got Glue. Both really excel in towards isolating opponents. The EVO Esports, they have to be a little bit more worried in this composition now.
Yeah, so right now PBN Strike, they could still go for the Farsa later on, but is it worthwhile for EVO Esports to actually ban out the Farsa, considering that there's a lot of ways to actually counter to it?
I don't think they should. They should actually ban off junglers for sure. In this case, Lancelot jungle isn't really popular, but like you called it, EVO Esports gonna go for the Lolita instead. So no Kufra from the side of Zanri. Not a big fan, but sure, Lolita still works very similarly as well. We saw how the Lolita was able to shut down See You Soon in the previous game against a Farsa. So you talked about the Farsa pickup. This is the response. Let them pick the Farsa. It's okay. EVO Esports makes the ban from Edith. Finally, somebody respects the Edith. Even though no other teams do, they do. Yes. Thank you very much. My love for Edith goes out there, but at the same time, no one cares about picking Edith, especially this week and the previous week.
Well, just because it's PBN Strike, because they have a history of playing Edith with a 50% win rate, so that's kind of okay for them to ban out. Now, looking at both teams, I think both teams they kind of like mobility. So we still have the Link that's still available. I think that's a pretty good pick. We haven't seen Cho for a while. So I think that if any team were to pick Cho at this point, yeah, that's pretty nice as well.
Yeah, I don't think Cho is going to be the case. Both sides don't really have a role for the Cho right now. But personally, I'm a big fan of what PBN Strike might be considering, and that is going to be potentially a Lancelot jungle. Lancelot tank has been really popular in the Indonesia region, and it has worked out. And so far, not a lot of players, especially from EVO Esports, they don't have a very strong team composition to deal with the potential Lancelot. Akai Heavy Speed is great and all for the Lancelot, but aside from that, he's got so much to worry about. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is going to be the case for PBN Strike. EVO Esports here, they're still keeping their options here in case they go for it as much as they can. But I don't think they're at the stage where Lancelot is a prio yet. But for marksman-wise, Brody is okay, but they're keeping their marksman alive. They are going to go for the Yuzhong XP for EVO Esports.
I kind of feel that the Yuzhong pick was an anticipation to PBN Strike in case they pick the Master. So let's see. So no Master yet.
So it looks like we are going to see a jungle Karina to set up with the Divine Judgment alongside with the Faramis. We talked about lack of magical damage. PBN Strike, 4 magic, 1 physical, or in this case, true damage from Blood's Anzai playing on the carry later on. EVO Esports, they have the solution to all of this, to be honest. They've got everything to deal with the composition for PBN Strike. But now, final pick, Moskov, making it all the way down bottom. EVO Esports, seems like they've got a pretty solid composition right now.
I think both teams, they seem pretty balanced. Like you got a good balance of that late game, early game and mid game. They can both go for the jungle invade as well because you got the Kaja, and for EVO Esports you got the Lolita. So pretty balanced, I'd say. It does feel like a 50-50 draft for me.
Yeah, it does seem that case. PBN Strike, once again, a very single target composition where they are going to be looking for focus fires and isolation. In this case, pick-off composition here. From once you get caught by the Divine Judgment, you're not getting out from the Shadow Stampede nor the split coming from PBN Strike. Whereas EVO Esports, they're looking for their poke potential to actually force chaos in their composition. Disruption is going to be the key from EVO Esports. Whereas for PBN Strike, it's all about picking off and trapping them in this space. That is going to be the team fight. Key objective from both sides in terms of team fight. But when it comes to split push, well, both sides seems to be very 50-50. But for this final lower brackets here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking forward to see who comes up on top. This is going to be PBN Strike going up against EVO Esports here for the lower brackets best of 3.
I'm thinking about a head-to-head between a carry and a Moskov. I feel that it's pretty similar or pretty close between the both. For recent times, we see better results out of Moskov.
Yep, looks like we are going to be calling a pause coming in, but Biston will have a little bit more of a range coming in from the Moskov itself, right? Biston technically does kind of outrage carry a little bit.
True.
In terms of mobility, they are kind of 50-50s from both sides, but carry does a lot of damage against tanky composition. So that is going to be the difference in approach when it comes to the playstyle, but I feel like it is still kind of 50-50 when it comes to what the results are going to be delivering in some of this team fights. So I'm looking forward to see how they come out. But for now, it is going to be even Stevens for both sides.
Yeah, really even Stevens. I mean, it is hard to tell, right?
Yeah.
This game. And I'm kind of feeling your prediction as well. Like you gave a 2-1 prediction. Yeah, we might go to game 3 just by looking at this draft. So, I mean, both teams, they do have that caliber and they know what they're setting up for. Even up to the late game, it's carry versus Moskov. So, if we kind of think about it as well, it also depends on how much control whichever team has from the early to mid game to open up space for their hyper carries to really be online.
Yep, before that, we are going to be jumping straight into the game here to figure out how things are going to go down. PBN Strike going to harass Opera here. You can see Raicho giving a dive to Yuzhong. Yuzhong does have the sustains. The Petrify keeps him in check, and now they're grouping out of 4. He pulls in with the Shadow Stampede. That's going to be first blood in the hands of PBN Strike, and now they're going to be looking for more as well as EVO Esports completely crumbles. And this is what I'm talking about from PBN Strikes, right? Once you get caught, there's no way you're going to get out.
And it's already 2-0 for PBN Strike. Okay, that's really fast. And that's what they need, right? Like we always talk about, like that if you have a Kaja on your side, you really need to control the early stage of the game. And so far, so good for them having a Kaja where Leone is playing it, and he even got a kill for himself.
Now let's think about Faramis, right? Faramis is great for a team fight composition, but if your team is disoriented, it's not necessarily the strongest, especially in pubs where you're playing alone without your friends, right? So I guess it's understandable why we don't see a lot of Faramis in pub games, knowing that if they don't know how to play around Faramis, it is going to be very difficult to play around. But in this case, top side, Nanami getting a little bit harassed here, but EVO Esports just doesn't have the level to actually contest this despite losing 2k economy. And bottom side, you can see Bistan already gaining pressure, and you can see even them diving in, making sure that this gold plating is going to favor Blood's onside right from the get-go.
Oh, taking a lot of risk there, Leone. But looks like they might go in, but well, objective first, try to take down the turret as much as possible.
They just have so much more confidence here. Turtle will be secured by EVO Esports, so that is going to be a 50-50. PBN Strike just says it's not worth it for the Turtle. We are going to try and make sure that Bloods Anzai wins his lane matchup, and that's exactly what they need as well, because Bloods Anzai, early Corrosion Scythe coming in means that Bistan might take a little bit too much damage once Leone gets the jump on him.
Interestingly, they kind of ignored the Turtle. Yes, they sent Nanami to actually just be the one that buy time for them, but the rest of them don't seem to be interested, even though time has been bought. So Nanami, well, obviously he couldn't be the one to steal away the Turtle.
Okay, seeing on the bottom lane, EVO looking for the patience as well. They're freezing the lane. They're just not reading, but all mistakes. Anzai. He just dashed forward, just a little bit more. Numinor Blast catches him. They know he's there, but barely at the pixel. But he does have the Purify. He's gonna be able to get out. So PBN Strike is going to back up as well. Your name from the sides. Blood Unside doesn't know he's there. He's right beside Surprise. And now the heavy spin comes in. The rest of EVO Esports is going to collapse on in. Patience paid off for Your Name. And that's going to be the gold laner down from the side of PBN Strike. But do they get the redemption? Yuji Chenko is going to be here. He's going to get caught out, but there's no follow-up. This is a Farah miss. Does have the Blood Outer as well. But for now, EVO Esports doesn't want to overcome it yet.
Nicely done by Your Name. The patience game that he played, and the moment he went in, he pushed his opponent to a wall, and there's no way you can get out of that kind of position.
Yeah, Blood Zanzai didn't have the Purify rather early, so good communication between the teammates here to decide when to go for the dive. Meanwhile, here comes the flicker forward, the Divine Judgment and the Count Outer will save PBN and Strike, but at the same time, they will die a second time. The stolen Count Outer also from the side of EVO Esports will prolong the fight, and now the heavy spin is going to cause disruption to try and buy time for the Razor EVO Esports, but at the same time, where's the follower? He can't do anything. Black Dragon finally comes in. They take down Raijo, but they lose two. But can they trade off a little more? And yes, that is going to be a Blood Anzai getting taken down by Opper, whereas PBN Strike is trying to make a run for it here. But the damage from the Faram is a little bit too much as they clump up, as they get completely waved out. And that's going to be a complete wipeout with 5-for-3 trade-off from the side of PBN Strike.
Despite the trade, favoring towards PBN Strike, but I gotta give it to Your Name again. He managed to pin down 2 from PBN Strike in that fight, but well, the counter coming in from PBN Strike, the U-turn from PBN Strike was just on point. Right at the edge of the turret anyway, so EVO Esports, whoever that was caught, they have no space to run.
Oh my goodness, and as of yet, that is going to be the total slain from the side of PBN Strike. EVO Esports losing even more economy, while PBN Strike just has so much sustainability. And the biggest threat right now is that they've got 4 magical damage, which is great to just completely shut down EVO Esports, and somehow they need to itemize accordingly to deal with it. But while you're doing it, this carry is going to get free hits all the way through. He just got his golden staff, and this carry is somebody they've got to worry about later on.
Okay, so right now PBN Strike, they are at the forefront. 4,000 gold difference for them, and so far what they've been doing is that they've been trying to invade the jungles. Yes, it kind of worked out for the most part, but Your Name, he's the key person right now.
Divine Judgment comes in. Your Name does have the heavy spin, and that's going to be a wasted ultimate here. But Your Name will be forced to back out. Nothing much has lost from this aggression, but it does make a little bit more space to pressure the top lane for Blood's Anzai. Yuji Chenko gonna be getting scouted here, but the predictions here in the fan service, it is gonna be everyone favoring towards EVO Esports, but as of yet, not many is expecting EVO Esports to actually not many is expecting PBN Strike to come on top, and it's kind of surprising considering how well they're doing as of yet. But as soon as I say this, Yujichenko, he does have the counter out. He's trying to force a bait, and there they go. They're going for the fight, and the counter out coming from EVO Esports keeps them alive. The Numenon Blast not gonna connect, but it is gonna slow down PBN Strike as they go for the reset.
Oh, okay, resetting, try to take that buff, but would the PBN try to steal it away? Did he? Nah,
no.
just in the nick of time.
Yep, just in the nick of time indeed. Enchanted Talisman up, and Yujichenko is gonna try to keep the counter altar as much available for the team. And seems like EVO Esports team are just gonna buy a little bit more time to come on time. Enchant, we have got double Clock of Destiny coming in from the Karina as well as the Faramis. So that's gonna take a little bit more long time to go in. But EVO Esports going for the fight. Numenon Blast connects, but Blood's Anzai will purify out of there. And Leone is going to try and delay the fight as he still holds on for his flicker. But nope, he is going to play this a little bit slow. He doesn't have the flicker. Toto will be the objective right now from PBN Strike. While Yujichenko is going to try and annoy your name. Does he go for the steal? No, he doesn't get it. So that is going to be PBN Strike coming on top of the turtle trade.
Yeah, PBN striking onto the turtle, securing it. Beautiful timing indeed. But looking at the current situation, they are focusing back onto objectives. They did lose the first turtle because they totally ignored that. But PBN Strike, they know that EVO Esports, they're starting to scale onto them. So now they need to make sure that they secure all those key objectives, including, if possible, the buffs on the other side.
Yep, Yujichenko, big threat here from the side of EVO Esports. The counter altar is a big problem here. I like how Flash One is always trying to steal off the counter altar to make sure his team has got even playing grounds. And currently, PBN Strike with the aggression, Flash One gonna be A-OK. But they have to send members up top because as of yet, PBN Strike, they're grouped up all four, and Opper playing a little bit safe. He does have the Black Dragon. But at the same time, oh, the spear coming in, scouts off 3 members. Bottom lane, EVO Esports immediately dives onto his Nanami. And you can see Nanami, he may be alone, but he's got the damage to 1v1. The Moskov himself, and you can see the rest of the team from PBN Strike, they're coming in. Piston will be eliminated. The rest of PBN Strike is going to buy him some time. The count altar comes in, but it's only going to save himself. But the rest of the team from PBN Strike, they've got the catch potential. They're pulling them back, but your name with the heavy spin is not going to do too much. It is going to catch Leone. He's stuck in the base, but the rest of PBN Strike is there. They're going to try and save his life. But Leone comes in and saves the day. Petrify comes in, but Opper is taking a little bit too much damage. Maniac coming in for the carry, and guess what? They're stuck. Yujichenko gonna try and tank for the team, but is it gonna be killed? Yes, he survives with 1 HP. Blood's Anzai gonna be able to lift this. And as you can see, Biston not going to be able to trade him off. PBN and Strike making sure this carry keeps on surviving.
That was insane. We got to look at this again. So Nanami, look at the amount of damage on the Biston. Bot time, the comms for his teammates to come right on point, and they secured that kill immediately. But for the side of EVO, well, they came in one by one. You gotta think about it. Even like your name, I think it wasn't necessary for him to come in, but I think he was just trying to get back into the base.
Oh, he tried to get a lot of kills as well, but it was Blood's Onside that saved the day in this fight. A little bit of a mistakes there, but at the same time, Blood's Onside just doing so much damage, and that's the power of pure damage, right? But even here, they were deciding, hey, you know what? Sacrifice for the marksman. In this case, it was absolutely worth it. However, the Lord comes in. Your name instantly getting the heavy speed cancelled off, but he does secure the Lord from EVO Esports. The counter altar are dropping in, but Opper, he goes for the Black Dragon. He won't get picked apart, and now, as you can see, PBN and Strike, they're still fighting as long as they can, but they lost the members. The Moskov coming from Biston is just doing so much work, and EVO Esports, they somehow manages to make a comeback in this trade-off.
Beautiful, beautiful indeed. Nicely timed to come in. But for the Lord, well, let's see. Oh, EVO Esports, they managed to get the Lord as well. So it was a good execution there for them. And now with this Lord, they can continue to push on to the top lane. They still need to clear the bottom lane, so I wouldn't say that it's still a hard push from EVO Esports just yet. So PBN Strike, they still have time.
Oh, it's so difficult, but at the same time, with EVO Esports stealing this Lord here is gonna give them a small window of opportunity to come back, because that aggression from PBN Strike down bottom, yes, they've gotten the Maniac on Blood's Anzai, But at the same time, it bought so much space for EVO Esports to scale back into this game. And with this Lord, it is going to help them even more now, as PBM Strike has to find a way to close out the game. Blood Sun's Eye, level 12, will be focusing on the Lord up top. Meanwhile, Biston is secretly going to be taking objectives after objectives. But as you can see, they are split off. They go for the conceal play. Numenon Blast connects until it is going to be huge. They force the count out, but the Braijo Ansai from the back lines eliminates Biston. And now EVO Esports, they have to run away. And now Opper with 1 HP will be running with the tail between his legs as he backs off. And now PBN Strike pounces back in this fight. It's close, it's close. But objective is going to be key. PBN Strike focusing on tier 2, and they are going to try and DF the tier 3. Biston back in 11 seconds. Lolita's shield is going to be able to block their way through, and he is going to be A-okay.
Yeah, discipline, because Nanami is not there. Nanami is busy clearing up the top lane. So right now, all they can do is that just reset, wait for their cooldowns to be back up, and clear the jungle at the same time. But EVO Esports, they know that they cannot lose the jungle to their opponent. If not, they will fall behind in terms of gold. Right now, they're kind of close, but if they continue to give the jungle away, definitely they'll be behind.
Yep, it is going to be a very difficult one, considering now both marksmen is slowly scaling their way through. As you can see, Biston looking for the Athena shield build up later on for a little bit more of a magic damage output. But ever since the Radiant Armor purchase up on your name, it has put PBN Strike in an awkward position where most of their magical damage is going to be negated in this upcoming fight, and it is going to be a big problem later on.
Ooh, okay, so it's going to be the fight for the Lord now. And of course, right now, the Lord is going to be very, very important because both sides are kind of 50-50, so they can turn the tide for either side.
Oh my goodness, Numenon Blast comes in. They go in for the dive. They scout out EVO Esports now with the Divine Judgment to catch on to 20 August. And that is going to be a Lolita taken out. The rest of EVO Esports, they're getting cut off, but they are going to try and force a fight. Flash one goes in for U-turn, but the double kill finishes him off, and Heavy Spin not going to do him any good. The damage from PBN Strike a little bit too much as Biston nowhere to be found as he tries to go for the split push, but that is going to be a free Lord for PBN Strike.
Yeah, they'll definitely still go for the Lord because the minions are not ready yet, so right now the Lord will be taken for free, but the top turret as well will definitely be taken out. Flash one, does he still want to be there? Gotta be careful.
Oh, he's going to be fine for now. Bottom side now is going to be shoved in with the Lord in the favor of PBN Strike. EVO Esports, they don't have a lot to work with in terms of defense, especially with that ballsy play coming from 21 and completely running over PBN Strike, allowing them a freebie in that engagement.
Right now, we can see they'll be waiting for the Lord. They've secured the entire jungle. They stole away the buffs. EVO Esports, no buffs on their side at all. So this is going to be a tough defense here coming in for them. PBN Strike, they have everything. They may not be able to close the game just yet, but they may be able to take like 2 inhibitor turrets easily.
It's going to be tough, but the Lord pushing in. That is going to be a free inhibitor coming in. That's going to be knocked in as well. Opper still holding onto the Black Dragon. Yujichenko a little bit far off. Finally regroups with the team of PBN Strike as they slow push this on the other side, while Biston on the bottom just going to be defending for EVO Esports. PBN Strike waiting for the moment to strike during the August, going for a Numenon Blast, not going to be able to do too much, and that is going to be 2 inhibitors down as they try to go for the collapse. They go in for the pull. Divine Judgment cancels your name. Count Alter keeps them alive. Opper trying to keep them in check. He goes for the stun, but where's the damage? Flash One finally drops the Count Alter away, but do they have the damage? Yes, they do. Flash One kills off the carry, and now as you can see, Yujichenko, he is going to try and trade off, but EVO Esports, they somehow manages to defend, and they get 4 for nothing.
Wow, I am amazed that they still managed to defend that, but then again, of course, we still had 3 inhibitor turrets still active. So PBN Strike, they went for objective. They know that as long as they took all 3 inhibitor turrets down, they still have a chance in this game, despite them giving 4 lives away to EVO Esports.
Oh, let's take a look at the replay as well. As you can see, they're all grouped up. It kind of allowed Opera to go for a big fat Petrify and just completely shrunk their way through. And while this is actually happening, Flash One was just doing so much work to actually zone them off. And 20 August as well was just blocking a majority of the shots coming from Raijo, who needs those true damage in order to soak his HP, which kind of resulted in them holding on. So props towards 20 August for that play. But at the same time, it does make things a little bit difficult now from both teams to actually close out the game.
Ooh, okay, so that means the Lord might be the decider. So 38 seconds on the clock before the Lord shows up. But then again, PBN Strike, they are not really controlling the Lord side entirely just yet until maybe the last 10 seconds till they check. They don't have Nanami with them, which is fine. Nanami will just be a distraction at the bottom lane because if Nanami can somehow push the minions right at the edge of the door, EVO Esports will be pressured to pull back.
Yeah, Winter Trunken purchase up on Rigel to actually buy time. EVO
Oh, okay.
in a position as well. They know they're there. They are going to be forcing a flicker,
Going
but the Divine Judgment comes
Beautiful.
in, connects on the Lolita, instantly assassinates his way through. Cannot survive that at all. But EVO Esports, they're going to try and buy time with the Lord. Opera needs to make a run for it as well. Flash One buying a little bit more time. But you can see Blood's Ansai already making work towards the Lord. Your name also going to be signed. He does have a heavy spin. He misses the wrong angle. And now the carry is going to finish him off. Piston finally shows himself. He's got the damage, but he's going to get connected as well. Blood's Ansai survives with the count altar. And EVO Esports, no, they have to run. It looked big, but now the second Divine Judgment comes in. Rigel will get the double kill. And PBN Strike will be able to clutch it in for the team. And now Your Name hit the heavy spin. He's going to buy time with the minions. And he's not going to do much. 21 August goes for the Nominon Blast. But it doesn't matter. PBN Strike takes down the Crystal. Takes game 1 against EVO Esports.
Well, that timing, that mechanical skill. Okay, so the differentiator for me in these two teams is that the teamwork from PBN Strike, the timing of them to appear at the right moment is just on point.